For this video, I'll be demonstrating a basic for loop, and then after that, I'll be doing a nested for loop, and just printing out a simple printf hello world, and then in the nested for loop, I'll be printing out 1 to 10, just to show that it works. So first of all, we got to declare our variables. We'll be using two variables in this, so int I and j. So I will be for our first for loop, and we use that as a counter, and j will be for the nested for loop. We use that as a second counter. So if we get our first for loop up, and we say I starting off at 0, and 10I is less than 10, and we want to increment I by 1 each time. Okay, so now that we have that up, so it's going to start off at 0, and each time this runs, it's going to increment I by 1. So the second time it comes through, it'll be 1, then it'll be 2, then it'll be 3. So when it reaches 10, it won't run again. So it should run 10 times if starting off at 0 to 9. So we want to put in what we want to print out during these 10 runs. So what we're going to do is just a simple printf and just basically say hello world, and then leave a space in it because we'll be using the nested for loop now, and we don't want everything to just be crushed up on top of it. So this is the nested for loop. Now what's going to happen here is when you're running through the first for loop at 0, you're going to print hello world, and then this for loop inside it, it's going to go into another for loop and run for the amount of times that it's decided. So if I put this exact one in again, it would run 10 times and print whatever I want to print 10 more times, and then it goes to the second for loop, to the second I, and do this, and then do all of them again. So we're just going to do that quickly now. So for this time, we're going to replace I with j. And j for, we'll run it for 5 times, just to keep it short. And do j++, so we increment it once every time. And what we want to print in this one is we're just going to do numbers. So we'll just print, say j+1, so it counts 1 to 5. So we need to show where it's going to go, so that's %d because it's an integer. Leave a space between them. And then put in the variable we're going to use. So what this should do is print out j +1. So when we get through, we'll print hello world, then we'll go into this for loop, and we'll print the integer j +1. So it starts off as 0, so it'll be 1, and then it'll go 2, then 3, then 4, then 5 when it's at the 4th one, and then it won't run again. And then it'll go back up into the original for loop and go for the second time, so it should be 1. And it will print out this again, and then go through this all again to the 5, and then back through it again till it does it 10 times. But we want to keep it neat, so we'll just add another printf just under here, just to format it, and just do a \n, so it skips a line each time it runs through it. Right, so we'll just test this now. Okay, so there's an error somewhere. Alright, fine. Just a Windows 10 thing. Anyways, this get character thing just lets it stay open at the very end, so that it doesn't close automatically when you run the program. Right, so as we can see, it goes into the for loop at position 0, comes through, prints out hello world, and then it goes into the inner for loop, and it prints 1, 0 plus 1, which is 1, then goes through to 1, 1 plus 1, 2, goes 3, 4, 5, and then comes down, skips a line, and runs through it again, hello world, and that runs 10 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times, and then this runs 5 times, so you can see. So our for loop works, and our nested for loop works perfectly. So thank you for watching, and that's your for loop and your nested for loop.